Hello, my name is Corey Pritchard, and I'm going to spend a few moments. Won't take a lot of your time, but I do want to take a few moments just to speak with you about wealth. Usually, if you are coming to me, then you are listening to me probably because your parent or your grandparent sent you this video because they want to encourage you to do better about investing money and planning for your future. So, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach than probably what you're used to. Okay. And I want to make sure that you understand why I'm doing what I am doing and why you should actually listen to me. So background wise, I'm 42 years old now that recording this video. I actually have been married for nearly 12 years. I have three kids. My oldest son is 11. My daughter just turned 8. And then my youngest daughter, she's actually 3 years old. So for this video, the case is to try to take myself back a few years and to go back to the time where I was coming out of college, trying to figure out what in the world to do with myself. And that was a very challenging time for me. So I'm making this video for you, gearing it towards myself during that time. I would have loved to have this information. I had no information like this available for me coming out of college, trying to figure out what to do with life. So for me, I was not prepared. Came out with a degree in economics, and that was great, but didn't know what to do with it. Right? So I go into interviews, and the problem is I have no job experience. And I say to you, to the employer, thinking to myself, how is it that you won't hire me because I don't have job experience? But then I won't get job experience if anybody doesn't hire me, right? So just going through that whole thing, and financially things were difficult. And also in dealing with money just wasn't a healthy way of being able to deal with money because no one told me how to deal with money, right? I went out on my own in college, just figuring out my way, graduated from college, again, just figuring out my way. So the only thing I knew was the experience that I saw from my friends and family members, and that's broke. And so if you don't understand what broke is spending 100% of your money or more. So that was my experience. Again, not knowing where to go and how to get things as far as career, to get started with my career, financially, just not doing the right things with money. So what I want to do is just take a moment to make sure I can just drop a few nuggets for things that I believe will be helpful for you at this place and time in your life. If by chance the product that I will share with you is one that interests you now, then great. If it is one that maybe you feel like it will be interesting in the future, then maybe I can help you at that time. But the main thing I want you to get in mind is this, is that you're going to have money, right? You probably are already spending money right now. So that's not a big deal. And really at the point where you first, have your earlier experiences where you're actually earning your own money, right? You go to a job and they give you a paycheck and you can spend your money the way that you want to spend. That's one first original, thing that really gives you pride as far as a young person. But the next phase is when you actually have to begin to pay bills, right? So the paycheck that you used to get excited about, maybe you could spend all of your money on shoes or clothes or eating out. Then now you have bills that begin to compete for that paycheck. And then that's when life begins to get kind of real. So what I want to do is just drop a few nuggets that can help with that process. Again, I wish, that I could have had this information back then, but I did not have access to that information. So the advice that I give you, and I'll just make it quick, is the advice I would give you, first of all, to realize that for most of us, the ideas that we have about money were broke ideas. Pay attention to what I'm saying, is that for most of us, if we stop and we really think about it, then what our mom, our dad, our grandparents, for the most part, there are exceptions, but for the most part, what they share with us or show with us about money is how to be broke. What does that mean? What that means is that the money is spent before it comes into your hand. You begin to plan how you're going to spend and enjoy the money before you actually get it, right? So you're broke before the money is actually coming to your hand. That's for most people, right? So it's a case where when we have that mindset, then it's unnatural for wealth or being wealthy to manifest with a broke mindset or with a broke lifestyle. That doesn't make any sense when no one tells us that. So we see people on television, right? We see people in social media, and they seem to have this lifestyle that we think is better than our lifestyle. So we believe that this next thing is going to produce that lifestyle, whether it be a career or profession or a business, right? Whatever the project is, then we think that that's going to give us that lifestyle. And the reality is those people are broke too. right? So if you have $1 million income and $1 million lifestyle, meaning that it's expensed out, so you spend $1 million and you get $1 million and you don't have anything left. Yes, you may have car and house and boat, but the reality is you're still broke. So it doesn't matter if you have $100,000, $10,000, $1,000, or $1 million, right? If you spend it all, then that's broke. So the first advice I would have to anybody is this: first, realize that it is your decision to decide when the money's coming into your hand, or before, which is the best time for your money, when money comes into your hand, before it actually comes into your hand, that you want to decide if you want to be a sower or an eater, is the way I explain it. Okay. And I explain that from a biblical term. And of course, if you'd like to get the reference for that, I can give it to you. But the concept is very simple, is that when I have a paycheck, or when I have commission that comes into my hand, when I have it is given to me, then it's my choice to decide if it is seed that I can sow. When I say seed, it means it has an opportunity to actually be multiplied, increased in the future. And then I can decide to make some of that bread later on in the future, or I can decide to reinvest it later. I can decide, I can make that decision, but now I didn't kill the potential of the money. So I can decide first if I want it to be seed, or the second category is to be bread. And the way I look at bread is, it should be very simple. It's something that you eat, right? If you consume it and it cannot bring back a harvest, if it can't be increased and multiplied and bring back a profit, then bread, right? So the shoes that we wear, whether, Jordans, or whether it's, some Payless shoes. I'm not sure if they have Payless anymore, but Walmart shoes, it doesn't matter, right? Either way it goes, is that whatever we're spending our money on, that does not have an opportunity to bring us back anything. Going to a restaurant, spending 40, 50, $100 in food, that money is gone. Like, you won't see anymore. You have the experience, but the money's gone. Drinking a bunch of alcohol, even smoking, right? All those things, they're bread that you eat, and they don't come back. They don't bring back a return. So here's the way it goes with money. If you don't predetermine for yourself that you're going to be a sower first, then you won't have any seed to sow, right? So if you think that you're going to wait to the end, spend all your bills, do the things that you want to do, and then you're going to save after that, chances are it's not going to be anything left. So you have to decide for yourself if you want to be a sower or an eater, okay? And that could be a case where you decide a dollar amount that you're going to put aside every single time. You could do that. I usually advise that you put aside a predictable percentage, lock in a percentage, whether that percentage is 5%, right? 5% is better than no percent, or 10% or 15% or 20%, right? And you decide that first. So before the money comes in, you say, here's my mark. This is what I want to make sure that I'm going to do. I'm going to set aside this amount for seed. Right? You may not know where to invest it, right? You may not have any idea where to actually put that money at to actually allow it to be able to grow. But at least if you're putting it aside, first of all, it creates a habit, which is the most important thing. Your mindset begins to change, your heart in dealing with the money changes, and you're beginning a new habit that will be hard to break. Good habits are hard to break, and also bad habits. So we want to make sure that we're getting into a natural alignment and having a natural, more comfortable relationship, a positive relationship with money. And this is a part of it, right? So you can put that in a bank account, you can save it in whatever way you want to, but it's a case where you're getting in the habit of saving that money and putting it aside, right? And it could change. You maybe can start with 5% this year or this month, and maybe you decide to increase that in incremental amounts, maybe by 2% or 3%. Say your goal is to get to save 20%, first, whatever it is, but it's just you set your own goals. No one should be able to set those parameters for you, but not saving is not an option, right? Not saving is broke, right? That's what it is. And then if you're not going to at some point commit to investing, then wealth is not going to accumulate, because cash itself is not riches or wealth. Okay, understand that. Just because you have an abundance of cash doesn't mean you're wealthy. It doesn't mean you're rich. So you want to get an idea of saying for yourself that I refuse to be broke, and I'm going to predict and plan to be wealthy. So first, what I want to do is begin to decide what my percentage is and set that aside first. Okay, so that's an important thing. So again, the first thing is it changes your mindset, it changes your heart. But the second thing is very beneficial also, is that when those projects present themselves, when there's an opportunity to invest, right, Now you actually have seed to be able to sow into that project. You actually have seed to actually be able to do it, because a lot of times there's opportunities that come our way. And because we're not prepared idea wise to be able to recognize a good opportunity, we can't take advantage of it, and or because we don't have the money, the resource, the seed, the principle, right, to actually put into that project or that opportunity, then we miss it, right? So we're just a point of being prepared. Want to make sure that we're planning and preparing for those opportunities when they come, even if they don't exist right now. Okay. So with that being said, then um, often what happens is when you start to try to set aside money, what you realize is that possibly your income, uh, based on your expenses, is that it feels like you don't have enough money, and that's what gets us in the mindset where we think that we have a paycheck raise or a salary raise is going to fix our problems, but it's not. Okay, sometimes for people that are really poor, having more money will fix the problems, but for most Americans, we don't have that excuse. It's not the lack of money. It's not that you don't have enough money, it's that we don't have enough discipline. Okay. So really, when we come into a situation where me per se, I'm coming in and I'm suggesting that you're putting aside a certain percentage of your money. What if you're already spending 100% of your money? Right? If you get $1,000, you spend $1,000. Right? If you get $5,000 a month, then you're spending $5,000 a month. So with me coming in and saying, hey, why don't you set aside 5, 10, 15, 20% of your money, 30% of your money, whatever it is, first, before paying any bills, before buying drinks, before buying coffee. You're saying, how in the world would I do that? Looking at my money, I don't have enough room to be able to do that. Okay. So if that is the case, then what you have to realize for yourself, the same way I realize and many other people that's in this process, is that I may have to tell myself no. That's very difficult, right? Maybe you have to decide for yourself, I don't need those shoes, right? I don't need that shirt. I don't need that jacket. I don't need to take that trip, right? Maybe you have to decide, yes, I'm hungry, but I don't need to eat that food. Maybe I can actually buy groceries and eat at home, right? I don't need that coffee, right? Or maybe I only need it once a week as a treat, opposed to having it multiple times a day or every single day, right? So it's just being able to be disciplined to be able to decide that maybe I don't need those things. Looking at those things that come out of your auto deduct out of your bank account, and actually doing an audit on your bank account to say, my goodness, I didn't realize I had this much stuff coming out of my bank account. Is all of it necessary, right? Is all of it pushing me towards my goal? Is all of it pointing towards my goal, which should be wealth and increasing net worth? Okay, should be our goal, is to increase net worth. Is it helping me do that, or is it taking away from my plan and sabotaging my plan, right? So once you actually look at that, now it's up to you to be disciplined enough to be able to come up with a plan to say, you know what, I don't need it, call to cancel it, right? Don't take yourself to the mall if that's a temptation, whatever it is. But this is the process. Okay. So with all of that being said, then the goal is for me is not just to give you those ideas, because if I did just give you those ideas, but didn't give you a product or a place to really take full advantage of the lifestyle changing, then I think I would leave the process incomplete. So for me, I think it's been since back in 2012, been some time now, that I actually start beginning to get these ideas about how to use life insurance as a way to invest. I bank with life insurance companies, right? I really do say that. So I actually am able to take a life insurance policy, intentionally structured in a way where I'm able to overfund the life insurance policy, where you can put cash in the life insurance policy. Obviously, if you die, that there's a death benefit that will pay your family. But we don't just want to benefit them. We want you to have a benefit also while you're living. So now we're able to put cash into the policy, and it's earning a very strong interest rate, and you can have access to it, right? So the way I look at this is I call it a storehouse of wealth, right? That's exactly what it is. You're storing up cash, right, that begins to allow you to be able to take advantage of opportunities to build wealth. Because the goal is that the storehouse itself, or the life insurance policy that I'm using as a storehouse, I call it an active investment account. Right. These are terms that you may not have heard, like net worth. Right. You can go out and Google what net worth is. An active investment account is just a case where I'm intentionally putting my money and resource in a place that I know is storing up in order for me to take possession of assets. That's it. That's where wealth begins, is when I'm taking possession of assets, right? Assets that are increasing in their value. So the storehouse is a way for, again, you can pre-plan, you can literally put yourself on autopilot. You can have your premiums come directly out of your paycheck so you don't even see it. So whatever percentage that you're setting aside, you can make sure that that's coming out automatically. It can go right into your life insurance policy. That cash value begins to build inside the life insurance policy. So at some point when you have enough cash, maybe you say that you want to put a down payment on a piece of property. You got the cash for it, right? Maybe you see that there's a car that you can buy at a very good price, and you know that you could sell it high. Here lately, I've been hearing these ideas of people that go on Turo or different sites where you can actually rent your car out. So maybe you decide, hey, I'm gonna buy this car not for me to drive, but I want to buy it to rent. So now you have the cash, you can buy the car and begin to rent it and be able to create a cash flow for yourself, right? There's just all kind of opportunities if you have cash on hand. So opposed to you feeling like you have to go get a loan from the bank every single time, really imagine sometime in the near future where you have cash on hand, where you can literally go to an app on your phone, okay? Because one of these companies has an app on your phone. You actually manage your account through your cell phone in an app, and you literally can look at your account balance. You say, okay, here's my account balance. I need to have access to this money pretty quick, okay? It usually takes between 3 to 5 days. You can press the button. As long as you have the cash available, then that money will be either deposited into your bank account within 3 to 5 days, or it will be sent in the check as a check, right, within 5 to 7 days. So you can take that deposit, go do your deal, whatever it is, get a profit, and now you take that profit and you put it back into your policy. It's ready for another deal. Or you can take that check, deposit into the bank, and again, you're able to have your money available for the next deal. Take the profit, right, and then you have your money available for the next deal. So it's a case where you want to make sure that you are getting into a better place if that's what you want to do, right? If that's what you want to do, because the reality is that no one is going to force you to be wealthy. No one's going to force you to be rich. But this is the thing that you have to really decide for yourself. For yourself, given the opportunity, because again, Corey of old, right? The Corey that was coming out of college, I didn't get these opportunities. What I got was broke ideas, broke mindset, but I wanted more. I wanted a rich lifestyle, but my decisions kept me in a broke situation. So I'm giving you the opportunity to transition with the tangible tools that you need to make sure that within 2, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, definitely within 20 years, that your net worth is positive and growing, and there's no question in anybody's mind if you're wealthy, right? Not an abstract concept, not a case where you just have house and cars and that people really don't know the truth, is that you're really struggling to pay bills from month to month, but it looks good. None of that. Actually having a healthy, wealthy lifestyle where there's more than enough money to take care of your expenses, more than enough to take care of your family's expenses. You have a strong cash flow that's coming in, and you have assets that are continuing to grow in value, right? That is a wealthy lifestyle. Okay, so with that being said, if you're interested in getting more information, you should have possibly received an illustration. If you didn't receive an illustration, then you can request one from me. I'm more than happy to do that. It's not free, as far as free of no cost. It's of no cost to you for me to do that, but it does cost me my time, and it's very expensive. So if that is something that interests you, you feel free to go out to sorry about that, Storehouse of Wealth at gmail.com. So you can send an email to storehouseofwealth@gmail.com. You'll get an auto response with 3 opportunities for 3 quick videos. You get the one, and you can have the opportunity to possibly listen to the other 2 videos. Explains more about what a Storehouse of Wealth is, or you can go out to the website, which is at truefinancialengineering.com. Again, that's true, and I spell it with TRU, financialengineering.com. You can actually go there and watch videos and look at different things that I have, or you can actually send me a text message, and you can just type the word Storehouse at 937-529-8710. So just look forward to being able to, again, help as many people as I can to be able to retire into God's unique purpose. This is just a part of that process. I have other videos that actually help with gaining more financial literacy. If you're interested in that, some of that's actually on the website. So with that being said, thank your mom, thank your dad, thank your grandparents, whoever it was that share the concept with you, because that is a sign of love, right? They really love you and they want you to have a better lifestyle than what they had, right? So maybe they're doing well, right? Maybe they are doing well financially, but they still want you to have a better lifestyle, right? Than what they have. Maybe they haven't done well at all, but they're saying, I don't want you to be in that same situation. So I'm sharing this with you so you can have a better opportunity than what I had. So thank them, tell them you love them, and be willing to listen again to wisdom when it actually comes. It's one thing to have knowledge, but it's a better thing to have applied knowledge. But thank you for your time. I look forward to speaking with you. This is Corey with True Financial Engineering. Have a great day.